Well, morning guys. It's a very gloomy Monday and I really need to do this video. I'm hoping that it's not going to freeze. I've had a hell of a job with it this morning. It's got to be the 5th time I've tried to do this because it just keeps freezing up on me. So when I went to Millbank to do a bit of filming of the Tate the other week, I saw these statues on the side of Vauxhall Bridge. Now, you can't actually see them. You certainly can't see them in any sort of light detail unless you're on the river. And I'd completely forgotten they were there, and I've mentioned their existence to a few Londoners, and they're just sort of like, don't even know that. Well, that's something else. They don't even know they exist. The Amazing Secret on Vauxhall Bridge, a Look Up London special. So anyway, let's have a look at them. So you can see them here on the bridge, and this guy, Bob Speel, has got a nice site, and I'll link you to him. So he's So this bridge was built in 1895. No, it's our magical dates again, isn't it? 1897 is like what I consider to be a magical Victorian date. So it was, I mean, they were doing the Tate and the Millbank thing all around this time as well. It must have been a right mess over there. So it was built by this guy here, and they used the old footings, and it took them a long time to do it. Longer than expected because they'd usual sort of problems with clay and what have you. Anyway, in the end they decided to use the old footings, did it, and although they had like a difficult time getting it together, they had a load of money left, like a lorry load of money, enough to commission 4 for each side, 20-foot statues, bronze statues from 2 of the most eminent Victorian artists, sculptors of the time, Alfred Drury and F.W. Pomeroy. So here's Alfred Drury. So this is the sort of thing that Alfred Drury and F.W. Pomeroy, I'm not sure what the F was for, Frederick I expect, but they were considered to be like in the new sculpture movement. So this was a movement that looked at naturalism in art, going back to sort of like the olden times when naturalism and idealism was in favour. Didn't last long. So it was arts and crafts, and it was sort of exemplified in art by the pre-Raphaelites. Shall we look at the pre-Raphaelites? So whenever you look at pre-Raphaelite art, you get these dreamy, sort of like, very sort of like dramatic looking women. Oh dear. They called themselves a pre-Raphaelite brotherhood, and they were very into fine detail and all sort of antiquities within their drawing. See, always this sort of like old look to them. And he modelled the heads on the statues that he did on this sort of like arts and crafts look. See, they were very into this sort of like looking at Arthurian legend. So yeah, that's Alfred Drury and some of his stuff here. A bit more of his stuff here. This is the sort of thing he was usually doing. These small bronzes in his studio. then he was given like this gig to do this massive, and there was actually a photo of one here being moved up. I can find it again. I can only find one. It's like you'd think, wouldn't you, that being such a huge architectural and industrial feat, there'd be lots of news articles, footage, photographs. There's just, all I could find was this one of this one. I'm not sure which one it is. See in a minute. Being sort of like gingerly lowered over the side, but you can see the size of it here. I mean, here's the peeps. Say he's 6 foot. Come to about here. 18 to 20 foot. Bronze statues. And this is jewellery sort of thing that he was doing. There's his effort on one of his efforts. So he did a statue on the Hall of Justice. Yeah, these guys were like best of the bunch. He did that on the Bank of England. Big sort of pediment thing. He did this thing of Oliver Cromwell. So yeah, they were like the guys to go to if you wanted 4 20-foot bronze statues made. Now, I'm not stupid. I know that they employ people to help them with casting and firing and carving and things like that, but I don't know, it just seems to be so here's a short history of bronze sculpture. So it's had a very turbulent history, and then it was rediscovered once during the Renaissance and then during the Industrial Revolution in the mid-19th century. So they rediscovered bronze casting in the mid-19th century. So it's the most popular material. It can be used for statuettes, reliefs, small statuettes, figurines. Smelting the bronze. It's typically 88% copper and 12% tin. But historically speaking, they were highly variable in composition, as most metalworkers probably used anything, whatever scrap they could get their hands on. So they had a lot of bronze around to make these things. I mean, you know, all the stuff that was going on in London, and they had money left over, and instead of sort of like, oh, we could do something for the poor or build a school, no, let's commission 8 20-foot bronze statues and shove them up. So bronze is desirable because as it begins to shrink, it makes it separate from the mould, but it also fills the bits in the moulding thing. So this is one of the earliest bronze statues they've ever found, I think. Yeah. And isn't it strange? I mean, what is that? What's going on there? And then, of course, we had the Romans coming in with all their glorious stuff. But it's a process, and they tend to use a process called the lost wax method, which involves a lot of modelling, casting, use of wax, melting of wax, recasting, pouring in of the bronze, cooling, peeling away, cutting down, attaching things together, taking them apart again, reattaching them. And the size of these, it would have had to have been done in a huge warehouse. And did they have 2 separate warehouses going to do them in? Did they work together? There's no photographs of it either. In fact, this is a photograph of his studio, at the same time that he was allegedly making these things. And it's just sort of full of all his little stuff. I'm guessing he's one of these. 1900 memorial. Oh, it's photographed the Thomas Elder Memorial Committee in his studio. There's no photo of him, but there's his studio. On the back. Shall we have a look at them? Well, the main thing about these things is that you can't see them. You can't see them. You can only see them from the river. It's just, I mean, that's sort of similar to the angle I took. You can see them if you lean over, you might get a glimpse of their feet. Or if you lean to the side, you might get a glimpse of their face, but the detail on them is absolutely fantabulous. So here we go. This is education. I'm not sure which direction I should be going in here. And education again. These are by Drury, these ones, and he modelled them on the arts and crafts, and then they did this sort of like Roman Hellenistic robes on them. This is art. She's got like a little figurine in one hand and an artist's palette in the other, and some flowers. She's damaged here. That is the typical sort of pre-Raphaelite sort of face. Here's our pre-Raphaelites. That sort of one sort of like perfect ideal face. That's art. There she is again from the side. She's got some damage. You think somebody would have gone down and nicked these things off them. This is law. Now this is the only local government statue in London. It just seems to me, what a waste of such beauty. Look at the detail in this. Just to shove it on the side of a bridge where it can't be seen by anybody. This is science, and she's got like a globe, but looking very masculine, and clasp here. Let's have a look at some detail here. That could well have been at some point an orb. See, I'm wondering if these things weren't just already in existence and just made modern. Keep going. This is agriculture. So this has got like a scythe and a sheaf of corn over its shoulder. This is architecture. Look at this. So in her outstretched hand, she's got a model of St. Paul's Cathedral. Let's just look at this. And in her other hand, she's got like the mason's compass. Look at that, look how beautiful she is. Look at this. I think these were from somewhere else, and their remit was to modern them up a bit and put these things on them. Another one. This is industry. I'm just trying to remember their names now. See, he had a bit of a sort of an engine thing on there. This is pottery. There she is from the front. And this is a side view of this St. Paul's Cathedral thing. I mean, that's just crazy, isn't it? I just find this ridiculous that they built 8 statues, shoved them on the side of a bridge. 99% of Londoners don't even know they're there. They must have cost an absolute fortune to make. it must have taken them 5 or 6 years to make them. I mean, what with the casting, the making, it makes absolutely no sense at all to me. And I was sort of like thinking about, I think it was UAP the other day I was looking at the Statue of Liberty. I did have it up, but I think I closed it again. I've had to delete so much stuff off my laptop this morning just to get it to record. And he was saying that it doesn't make a lot of sense either, because it's just like the same sort of look to it, but much bigger. I was trying to think what there might be 8 of. I mean, like you've got like the graces. Is it 3 graces, 4 graces? I don't even know what the 4 graces are. All I could find really are the 8 Beatitudes of Christ, and there are personifications of the 8 Beatitudes of Christ, of Jesus, like meekness. So I don't know if maybe that's what they were representing at one time, and they've just sort of like changed the that's a good one. Night. Change the stuff that she's carrying. Like here, she's carrying a torch and a scroll, isn't it? And these guys are now all carrying stuff relevant to the Victorian era and to the paradigm of the Victorians. Architecture, pottery. There were a lot of pottery firms around Vauxhall at that time. But what a lot of effort. Why didn't they just put some sort of like mosaic or tile up here like they did on all the other bridges? Because it's just beautiful and nonsensical. I mean, if I was an artist and I spent 5 or 6 years doing these things, I think I'd be absolutely up in arms if I thought they were just going to be stuck on a bridge and where nobody could see them. And this especially being the only statue to local government in London, you would have thought they might have put that where it could be seen. Very strong features. That head's got to be 5 foot tall. 3 foot tall, 3 foot, say 2-3 foot. Oh, I don't know. I had to get up next to them. Well, you could see the one that I was looking at over the bridge. I don't know. Maybe they had something that needed getting rid of. Just seems like a lot of effort for nothing. So I think I've managed to get the video done. It's just a bit of a brain dump really, because I saw these things back then. Really felt like I could do with a little bit of a mention. This Bob Speel showing some close-ups here of the... So thanks for watching. More Victorian magicness, magicage.